Well, hello motorcycle fans, how's everyone doing on this lovely Wednesday night? It's one of the first good days we've had for a while, as you know, if you live in this country. It's been a bit moist, to say the least. So, thought I'd come out on the big Z, and Anna's out on a glorious ZXR, because she thinks these make a good pair because of the sound of these two. Both angry sounding Kawasaki's, which is nice. Little birdie, oh god. So yes, just thought I'd go a quick spin up to the coast, Hunstanton or something like that. All the bikes sorted now. The last thing that I'd had done to it was the oil seal on the gear selector shaft was seeping. It was either that or the drive shaft, front sprocket drive shaft, but we don't think it's that because the chain would be wet and it's not. So my mechanic swapped that out for me on Monday. We've done a full service on it, so it's all good to go.
Gotta write a classic, gotta write it in an attic.
Anyway, today's video is Anna has just had her quote for a bike insurance, and how much is that, Anna? Right, so Anna's has gone up £200. She hasn't had any accidents or claims, it's just, you know, the price has gone up. Now mine last year was 460, and that's for 5 bikes on the policy. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 6 bikes on the policy. And I've just had my renewal through, and it's 360. Now bear in mind I've had a claim, and the reason for it being a lot cheaper is I've got rid of the Ducati, which is a modern bike. Now my policy with Peter James was the classic policy. Okay. Yes, sorry for that noise. It's a bit windy when you go quick. So yes, I've had a policy with Peter James, which was the only policy at the time which classed 15-year-old Japanese bikes as classic, thus classic policy. They've since stopped that, and I think because of bikes like Gixxer Thousands and all sorts of high performance litre bikes, they think, hang on, these are a little bit too modern, it's not what we had in mind. So people who've got that policy, it continues, which is nice. But if Anna tried to go across, her bikes are less than 25 years, which is now the figure they've gone to for being classic, and I think that goes for all car and bike policies over 25 years. So I'm quite lucky there. So amazingly, my policy's dropped £100, so I can't say I'm not disappointed with that. That's brilliant. So recommended, guys and gals, is if you've got Peter James and you've got a classic policy, stick with it. If you haven't, I would strongly recommend buying a Japanese, or any bike really, over 25 years of age. Japanese are going to be most reliable. So yeah, you save yourself an absolute fortune in insurance. Am I speeding? Right. So yes, whereas a modern bike would probably cost somebody like Anna, I mean, she's got 4 bikes on her policy, which is 3 bikes on her policy, which is costing her an arm and 3 legs, and she's been riding for about 5 years, so she should have full no claims. Oh, looks like they've gritted the road. Old gritting though, not new. Yeah, so if you want cheap motorcycling peeps, 25 plus Japanese bike. This is 26 years old, so even if I hadn't got that little caveat in my policy of 15, this would still be classed as a classic bike, so thus it's pennies to insure. I mean, if I added a 15, or if anybody else added a 25-year-old bike on the policy, it's only about £20. So I think the first bike's about 150, and then sort of 20 for subsequent bikes, depending obviously what it is. But I guess my accident has made a difference, probably £100 or so, so the policy would have only been about 250, 260. Amazing. So I shall video a few bikes in the shop, show you what we've got, what you can have for 25 years or 15 years if you've got that policy. So if you're thinking about a second bike or just something different, it's worth considering. Okay, motorcycle fans, you take care. Bye bye. Right, hello motorcycle fans, this is the collection of bikes. Right, under my policy the TL is classic. It is 22 years old, so 1999, so that's 20 years old, so it doesn't come within the 25-year category. Anna's FJ again is about 20 years old, so that doesn't come in quite, it's 17 years old actually, that doesn't quite come in. The B King, again, the B King is an 09 reg, so that one's not even in the 15-year category. The Gixxer that's a 15-year-old bike. In fact, it's 16 years old, and I think this is the reason that Peter James restricted the policy to a 25-year-old. So at the moment there's nothing that's 25-year-old apart from obviously the ZZR, so that's 26 years old, so that's applicable. That'll be cheapest chips insurance. Obviously the ZXR is, because that's 32 years old. Slight electrical problem at the moment, which Anna's sorting. The Warrior is an 03 plate, so that comes within the 15-year element, so that for me is okay. The Katana, again, that's a 1983 bike, so that's coming up to 30 years old, so it's coming up to 40 years old. So yeah, that's definitely in. So is the Hustler, because that's a 1972 bike, so that's crikey, 40 years old. And obviously the H1 is the same year, 72. And this little moped again is 72, so all these are relevant. The race bike, which is lurking under there, is not going to be insured because it's a race bike. So, but yeah, so you can see a few of those. The sensible choice of all these would be the ZZ, because it's quick, reliable, and cheap. I don't know how much that would be to insure, but you compare that to a modern superbike, and probably be about a tenth of the price. So, yeah, it's all good. Okay, you take care.
Gotta write a classic, slow down, and I'm out of control without. Gotta write it in an attic.